close. In the house. It's more like it. Summer has come back, rudely interrupted by that out of the blue thunder and lightning storm that we had last night. I was on the roof playing with the dogs and I saw in the background over the hill in the distance some lights going off, and I thought, oh, it was just some event going on, but very quickly it surrounded us and caught me off guard. So down into the bus. Now that will explain to those of you that questioned this quite a while ago why I keep the tyres, the wheels on that bus. Metal bus. Didn't want to be in there in a thunderstorm, so having those tyres on there keeps it nice and grounded. Last week there was no video because I damaged my toe the week before and I didn't realise how much I damaged it. And given where I am and what I'm doing here, it's inevitable that I can't rest it. So it's going to end up taking a little bit longer to heal. And it was while I was trying to limp around compensating, putting weight on the other foot, that I kicked a concrete block and then I damaged my other toe. So I downed the camera and thought, just leave it, not going to do any harm, and I'll continue this week. Did give me the opportunity to just finish tinkering with the bike now, and I'm happy that I can step away from that because my mind is really back on this house and I want to start ramping things up so I can get in there when the windows and doors arrive. But I am very happy with how this turned out, and you can see what I was doing earlier on. This is a prototype, like a fly screen, a number board that goes on the front there. Just made it up, and to be honest with you, aluminium, I was quite surprised how well that turned out, given I don't have the proper tools. I think I'm going to see if I can get James to give me a one of these. I've got a little bit of metal left over that's been laser cut. We'll see if his machine will do that. I just can't figure out how to attach to there because my mind is switched off. I've spent enough time on this, but I did make this, a couple of holes in it, and it can attach where the light's attached to the bike through there. A little bit of movement on there so I can get the angle. I just can't get that plate attached to this properly. It may seem a bit straightforward to some of you, but there's a few bits and pieces obstructing it, but doesn't matter. Move on, happy with it. Colour's good. Now I can enjoy it. Right, the house. This feels so much bigger without that clumpy fat frame in there. It's a shame, you can't just have glass, but how do you open it? This area under here, I really don't want to lift it up. I don't know what I'm going to find. This was the original waste area. It wasn't linked to anything because there was no plumbing, water or anything. And in the early stages of me buying this house, I did get a trench dug from the very front, the road, to the house, and then coming across to join here. And that's why I'm able to have the temporary toilet inside. So it was partially done, but I had to cover this because it was a hole. Well, it's not too bad. Not too bad. That's not looking too bad. Second one there, because that was going to be the kitchen area. Quite handy to have that second one, and that is linked to that, which is also going all the way down to the very front. There's another box there which is running down the same ditch, which is, I'm not going to lift it up because of the leaves, I don't want them going in there. That's all the electrics, all the conduits and so on, which you can see. So over here isn't looking as bad as I thought it was going to, which is good. Obviously this is all exposed, and the sheet I put over it wasn't doing too much. I guess it was just stopping those smells from coming back up the pipe, and possibly just keeping those little critters out of the way. Not that it was doing a great job, but we didn't get anything coming up through the toilet, as we can all imagine. I guess we've all had those thoughts, haven't we, from time to time, about snakes coming up through the toilet. And let's face it, from there to there ain't that far, but we haven't had any problems. But I think I might cover that with something else. So that will be boxed in. That is the point of this. This has been sat there for so long. That pipe there was put in before I bought the house, and this is the new one. It's been cut, heated up, softened, and then bent out. So when it's encased in that block or that box, I can then cement in, keep it all nice and smart, and then put a lid on it, which would be good. But I'm doing that as I do the plumbing, but it has to wait a second. The reason I've just taken that up is because trying to get this ledge out, is marble for a start, is quite tough. And I was hoping that it's going to be lower than these two, because I want to match them visually, but I got the laser level out and it's exact. There's the line, which I guess is a good thing, but it does need to come out. And I want to be careful what I'm doing here. One, we're in the middle of summer. I have taken a little break from doing any work on this house because of my foot. Yeah, it's a physical job. I don't mind doing physical stuff this time of year. I just got to be careful. But when I have to think about something, it just is burning up my brain cells. And I'd rather be doing something that's fairly straightforward. And in this case, because I've got that crack going down there, I can put a lintel across on both sides in and out. And that doesn't resolve that problem, because that crack has become more visible again. All the way around the house, we've got columns and so on. So I'm not worried about subsidence. But I did just want to have a look under here as that lines up with the crack of what's going on. But right now, I guess, just because I can't think straight, I'm going to have to just step away. I'm very aware that if ever I get indecisive, that's a sign for me that I'm not thinking clearly. So I will do that hopefully next week when I can get some boots on and yeah, do that. In the meantime, I'm going to go inside and just see what else I can do. end of the last video, I took a little trip up to Porto, northwest coast, which was a nice little break for me. I haven't been out of the Algarve a huge amount, and I do want to do a bit more exploring going forward. Right, very handy having that van, accumulating stuff, and very easy to drop stuff off with, but I haven't had it for a week now. Oh, just settle down for a bit because it's been at the mechanics. Yeah, I did decide to take the van up to Porto, and maybe not the best idea in the world, but Portugal isn't that big. 550 odd kilometres, not exactly that far, is it? Just had a service, new tyres. What could possibly go wrong? Well, 2 punctures around Lisbon area, and the engine decided to cut half its horsepower out, so I was limited down to about 70 kilometres an hour on the straight. Any incline, I was in 3rd gear, so that trip back 500 odd kilometres took 8 hours, and I was in a bit of a hurry because the dogs were in a doggy hotel. Oh, it was all part of the journey though, it was all fun. Fortunately, it was 2 valves, and I found this tyre centre with Siri, and I don't use Siri ever, but it got me there really quickly. 40 minutes it took out of my time, and being just valves, which has never happened to me before, not 1 but 2 in a row, it was cheaper. So we're on our way up to Porto, and the very next thing that crossed my mind was when I left here, don't have any air conditioning, it was very close to 40 degrees, and by the time we got up there, Lisbon is a few degrees colder, but up there it was 24 degrees when we finally arrived. And I know that it's cooler up there, but it's kind of like not something that registers with me too much, but it does get a lot more rain. It rained the whole time I was there until I came back, which, I don't know, I think that's just bad luck. But given that we were in a busy built up area, I think that having it slightly cooler made it a lot easier. And I wasn't there to sightsee, but I did take a couple of photographs because I wanted to just take in the architecture and so on. Porto is one of the, if not the oldest city in Europe apparently, and it's also the 2nd most populated in Portugal after Lisbon, which has 2.2 or 4 million people. Porto somewhere in the region of 1.8 million in the area, so it was a lot busier than I'm used to down here. Of course, coming from a busier area, it wasn't a shock to me, but I really have got used to this sort of environment. And in the future, given that I wasn't doing any real sightseeing, and given what I did to my foot, it was a pre-planned trip, I'd like to go back up there again with a scooter. And when the house is more or less done, I'm going to be doing more travelling outside of the Algarve. I rarely go out, and it is something that is on my to-do list. Yeah, something is better than nothing. Get down the dump. So that is the bit of wall that I fell off when I did my footing. I don't know what I clipped, but it was something around that framework. Silly boy, lessons learned. Let's get inside. Sweating buckets. Good thing about not having any windows and doors, I guess, this time of year. Breeze. That room through there, now you know I've been using that during the daytime. It's got a lockable door on there, and I've been deliberately not videoing this area. As tempted as I am to go through that last little bit to reveal the room, I've just got to be really patient. Really frustrating, but I have discovered a little problem, which is why I've been holding back on it. Now that room is 3.5 meters by 3.5 meters. It's going to make a great bedroom, and once we've gone through there, it's going to open up and give a whole new vibe and feel to this house rather than going through the door on the side. Now at the back of the wall in there, you know, on the outside there's an outdoor shower. I will need to remove that because I want patio doors and I want to do it all at the same time. But I can't remove the shower because I need somewhere to clean, which is why I'm concentrating in there in the bathroom. But what I'm going to do is get it to a point where it's usable. Then I'm going to step away from that and come back to this. And the reason that I need to do that is we discovered when the guys were knocking through that the roof of that room is block and beam, and the beams are coming in this direction, right where my hand is there now. and that's made it a little bit weak. So there's an acro with a wooden block just supporting the ceiling, and I want to get that sorted out. Unfortunately, it means I have to remove the whole roof of that little extension and start again. Now, as daunting as that may sound, I'm actually really looking forward to it because it's not as big an area, it's lower down. I know I can do it myself, and I think it'll be a bit of a challenge. And once that's all done, of course, we can knock through there and it'll just be a massive reveal, and it's going to be very exciting, especially with the patio doors at the back. But I have to do it in an order, unfortunately, and that really is getting on my mind at the moment. So I'm going to concentrate over there, get that area sorted out, and then I am going to be coming back to this. But when we reveal going through there, it's going to be great. I think this is a copper pipe, so I won't let this go to waste. But I do need it out of the way. Oh, where are we at, boys? You ready for your walk in a minute? Yeah, they are. Okay. We now know, of course, that this is going to be a glass door letting in lots of light for the kitchen. And out here, of course, is going to be an outdoor kitchen, so it makes complete sense to have it all lined up. And I'm going to be using this outdoor area probably as much, if not more, than the one inside. Now, we've already established that I've gone through quite a few layouts with this house, which was good to do. And I'm now pinned down on what I'm doing. Originally, I wanted the kitchen over there, but I'd have to sacrifice one of the bedrooms, and I'm not prepared to do that because there's two. And they are good sizes at the moment, and this room would have been a little bit of a tricky one because it's a really weird width. Half a metre more and it would have been ideal, but it's 2.3 metres across that way, but it's 4.3 from there to here, so it lends itself to being a kitchen area, although at the moment it's looking a little bit grim. But I'm confident this is all going to change, and change quite rapidly. I am going to get a concrete floor down there. I got it down low enough. I need to get some gravel down, put a sheet down, and then the concrete, but I still need to work out where the plumbing's going. At the moment, there is pipes in the ground. One of them is sticking up here, and it had a vent there, so I don't know quite what that's linked to, but this pipe continues in that direction, then spurs off in that direction, but stops, and then continues down into that room. That pipe I just pulled out was, I think, was once connected to this, which may have been for gas, I'm not sure. Might come in handy. So it continues up here, there, as I just said, and then here. And that, I'm assuming, was meant to be for a toilet, but it also goes off in that direction. It is all linked up to, oh, don't look, that makeshift toilet there. And there is this chased into the wall up to what was going to be a shower, I'm assuming, but it's not where I want it to be. So I decided now I just need to clear it all out, and I have to have a fresh start. I'm really struggling at the moment. There are little things like this which will become a thing, and that needs to be taken all the way down so it's flush with here. And I am going to be taking that wall down, which shouldn't be too difficult, but it's got conduits in there all embedded in, and I can't follow them through to anywhere. So it's all going to have to come out. Lots hanging down. It's like spaghetti junction in here. Got a little box up there which could come in handy, but I can only really figure this out when I've cleared it all. This particular area is the only part of the house that actually has wires sticking out of the sockets, I think. They're all over the place, and they're sticking up from the ground. I can't follow them through anywhere. One's cutting across there, but then it takes a detour and then comes up there. They are dotted around everywhere. And this one here is for instance, you can see is coming down, and then it goes over to the right, but then comes up the floor here and across to there. So get rid of it all. I can still use those sockets, but I'll remove the ones that are exposed here, put new ones on, and I can just follow them up. That's if I want to put them there. So So a little bit confusing at the moment, and I guess given the circumstances that I'm still not fully on it, and I guess this is the second video in a row now that hasn't quite gone to plan, and I'm kicking myself for injuring myself. But you got to take a rest. It's just one of those things, isn't it? And I'm just not up for it at the moment. I'm going to give it another couple of days. I'm not limping like I was a few days ago, but I'm standing on stones and it's uncomfortable. So I need to get my foot in a boot and I can't get it in there just yet. So another couple of days. You know, I've only been down to the beach once in 2 weeks. So maybe that's what I need, just to chill out a little bit and have a good fresh start. This is all going to work out and it's all going to be good, but I've got to be honest with myself, and I'm kidding myself at the moment to think I can just carry on as if nothing happened. And this bit here, I have now thought about it overnight, and I'm pretty certain I know what I'm doing with that. So it is all going to fall into place and it is all going to be great, but I've got to just stop for a second, chill out, and then have a good fresh start on Monday. So thank you to everybody who's been watching. Thank you to everyone who's new to my channel, who's subscribed. If you haven't already, don't forget to do that. We'll be marching forward. I really appreciate all the energy and effort everyone's put into my videos, watching them and so on, and commenting. And well, we'll be moving forward. But right now, I think I need a little break. So I will see you next weekend. Look after yourselves. Bye. Oh, that probably wasn't the best choice of words, was it? A rest, not a break. Take care. Bye.